Hi all. Now we are going to talk about count functions in Power BI. So what all count functions are available? So we are going to see about second category, count functions. So in Power BI, so we have count, count A, count blank, count rows, distinct count. Okay. So these are all formulas as comes under count functionalities. So already few people are aware of this because this is already available in Excel also, right? So I'll show you how to use in Excel. So, for, so I'm going to use count formula. In this count, it is asking the value. So for example, I'm choosing this particular column, close. Then it will show the count of that particular column, right? Next formula, count A. Count A, this selecting that particular column, enter. Then n equal to count blank. Count blank. So it will count the blank cells. Maybe I'll choose till this one. There is no count. Okay. So what is the difference between count and count A? See here. Here also I have choosed count of B column and here count A of B column. Here in this count, it will count only the numbers. So for example, here we have totally 7 line items, but first line items is in text and other line items are number. So the count formula, what it will do is it will count the numbers, how many values are there, it will count and it will provide the result. Sometimes it will take text also, but in this count A, even it will add even space also. So for example, here I'm adding space, enter. Then see here the count A value is increased. Even if I add comma, then the count A value is increased. It means whatever is selected on that particular column, any space or a dot or comma or unknowingly if you are written type something, that also it will calculate and it will provide the result in count A. But in the count, it will provide only the number of counts are available. That only it will provide. Okay. The count blank is what it will do is how many blanks cells are there. So for example, here I'm adding one line item. So here one cell was in empty. So that's why the count blank shows 1. Because here one empty, because I have chosen only this particular range B1 to B8 range. So in between I have one blank cells. So it will count the blank and it will provide the result. So same method we can use in Power BI also. So how should I use in Power BI? So count, it will provide cumulative value. So it will count the number and it will provide how many counts are there. So you have to use the measure. So for that you can just right click, new measure, can give the measure count. So you can use the formula count formula tab and then column name. So you can choose the column name south say. So then what happened? It will take the count on that particular line item and it will provide the result. So you can choose some card and you can select. See, it is showing count 7, sorry 6. Similarly, you can use count A. Just I will use count A instead of count. I'll use count A formula. Enter. Column name, then enter. So here it is showing only count 6. Why? Because it will not consider the heading. But in Excel, it was considered a heading also, it was considered and it was counted in count A, right? But here it is not counted the heading. Apart from heading, any unwanted commas, dots, any something was selected in your data set, that will calculate and it will provide the result. So far, I don't have any unwanted commas, unwanted dots, or nothing was visible in my data. So that's why it is not showing any differences, right? And if I want to choose count blank, then I can use count blank formula. Count blank. So it is asking the column name again. I'm using South Sale and just enter. Then it will show blank because in my table I don't have any blank cells, blank line items. So that's why it is showing blank. Okay, fine. So the next formula is count rows. So I'll edit this one. Count rows, tab, table name. So before I used count A, count and count blank, but each and every formula it is showing only the column name. So we have calculated the column count, column values, everything calculated column wise, right? But in this count rows, it is asking the table name. Instead of selecting a specific column, it is showing a entire line item. It will calculate and it will provide the result. So why? Because if I'm just selecting some specifically separate column, in that maybe some blanks are available, but other values will be there. But we don't know whether it is available or not. And that time, how many rows we have exactly in our table, then we can go for this particular formula, count rows. Then I can choose count rows, enter. It will show how many line items we have except the title. So except the title, how many line items? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 line items are there. It will show. And if I choose some different table, it will show how many counts. Maybe I'll edit instead of office supplier. I'm giving like product sales. I'll choose another table. It will show how many line items are there in that particular table. So 427 records. So you can go and check that particular table. Just double click on it. So here in bottom itself, it is showing 427 rows. So exactly our output is matching. So the next formula is distinct. Distinct is nothing but unique. Distinct count. So you can use distinct count and distinct, both we can use. So it will provide distinct value. So how many unique records you have on that particular column. So maybe so sales rep, I have multiple line items, but unique sales rep, how many sales reps are there, or how many cities are there, unique cities are there. That likewise I can able to calculate it here. So for example, I'll choose a city, then it will show how many cities are there in that particular table. So totally 7 cities. So you can go and check cities. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 records are available. And if I choose category, then it will show only two values. Why? Because we have two categories. One is fruit and another one is vegetable. So I'll choose the category and enter. Then it will show only two counts. Okay. Thanks for watching.